Welcome, everyone, to another pleasant day. Today, we are speaking about being light and easy about things. Oh, but Angela, you don't know what I'm living through right now. How can you possibly say be light and easy? Because it is law. When we are light and easy about things, remember, as within, so without. As above, so below. If you walk around with the heaviness, the stress, then what happens? We recreate it. It is law. So the way now to get yourself through this situation is to always state the facts. The facts are what we are looking at, that we are experiencing, that we are dissatisfied with. We created it. Not intentionally, mind you. It is something that is happening in the background, a program that is running, an old habit. So when you look at the situation you're going through and you say, oh my God, what am I going to do? You stop first. And the law of polarity reminds you gently, where are you now? And you begin to list where you are. You begin to name where you are. And then the second thing polarity will ask you is, where would you prefer to be? And then you list those things. You have something on the left and you have something on the right. And in between, there is a space where action is required. And so then you begin to ask yourself, what is the first step that I can take to get me towards where I say I want to be? And when you do that, you remove the pressure. You remove the pressure from the situation that you're dealing with, and you begin to see the solution, the way forward. And those are the steps you get up every morning and you do. And by doing those things, we become light and easy about it. And in that space of being light and easy, we begin to see the solution and we walk out the solution. Because that is what you want. You want the situation to change. But the only way the situation changes is if your mind changes. There is an analogy. You're in the movie theater and you're watching the screen. The movie looks great. But how is that movie there? It is being projected onto the screen. Well, our lives are like a movie. How did it get there? There's something being projected onto the screen of life, and it is our habits. Those are the things that are being projected day in and day out. And the reason why you know which one to change is that little subtle clue. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep making the same mistake? That is your clue that the habit you want to change is in your face. So you name it. When you name it, now you remove the sting of it. Because you can look at it and see it for what it is and go, oh, snap, I see what I'm doing. But what do we do instead most of the time? Oh my God, I'm so dumb. Why do I keep doing this? This is what we do. And we judge the situation. The situation is not there to be judged. It is there to be assessed for you to now decide if you want to continue or if you want to change. This is the purpose of the habit. It is always asking you, is it still working for you? No. What new habit would you like to do? We are always being presented with that question. And if we would answer the question, then we can be light and easy and we won't panic, we won't freak out, but we will see things for what they are. And accountability then does not become this big stick. Accountability is always a pleasure. The sovereign is always accountable. The sovereign is never a victim. Well, what does that mean, to be sovereign? It means you self-govern. You look at yourself and you say, oh, well, this is nice. I'll keep this behavior. Oh, not this one. This will not do. And you change according to what you would like to experience your life as. Oh, but Angela, you make it sound so simple. So easy. If it were, wouldn't everybody be doing it? It's not that everybody wouldn't be doing it. Everybody already is doing it. You see, we live by way of law. If you choose to not be light and easy about it, life will be complex and it will beat you down. But when you comprehend how life functions, now you align yourself accordingly with it. This is the great secret that nobody tells. You see, sometimes we think it is unbearable, life. But if we stop and just sit there for a moment and be honest, just look at it. What is unbearable about it? And you begin to list those things because that is where you are now. And you ask, what can I do? What can I do? Not what can George do? What can I do? And when you ask, what can I do? Now it's like putting fuel in the engine, well, in the tank, to power the engine. That fuel now causes you to get up and say, I got this in the bag. I can do this. And when you say that because you know what you're doing now, you become energized. You see, the law is beautiful in the aspect that it gives. It gives. What does it give? It gives you strength. It sustains you. Because if you think about it, without the knowledge to apply, there's no wisdom that's developed. We are so quick sometimes to judge ourselves and beat ourselves up, which just compounds the problem and makes it bigger than what it is. But if we take that moment, just a simple moment to assess, we can see the way forward. Oh, but I tried that, Angela. Key word is tried. We don't try. We do. Trying would imply, maybe I'll fail, maybe I'll succeed, but I don't know how this is going to turn out. That's trying. But practicing says, I get better every time I do this. And if you get better every time you do something, don't you become a pro at it? That is the point. We must practice what we learn. Apply the knowledge so we can become wise. So that the next time we encounter a situation, we can look at the situation and say, where is this habit? I see it, and I don't like it anymore. Well, what is a habit? Any thought, word, or action that you do in the same way every time. Tying your shoes is a habit. It is learned behavior, and you will know a man by his habits. Alan Watts. Why would you know a man by his habits? Because the law of correspondence tells you, as within, so without. Whatever you think yourself to be is how you will behave. So you might as well begin to think the best of yourself. Oh, but Angela, wouldn't that be arrogant of me? Oh, no. Confidence in yourself. How can that be arrogance? You get up in the morning and you say, well, I can get this thing done. Yes, and then you'll do it. But if you get up in the morning and you say, oh, I can't, what are you doing? You're cutting yourself off before you even do something. You must have confidence. Arrogance, on the other hand, is more along the lines of, well, I'm better than you. Who do you think you are? You haven't had my struggles. That would be arrogant. But to be confident, you know what? I can get through any situation. I can solve any problem. And I know how to not create problems. That is confidence. You can do something with that because that is, listen to the word, self-centered. Oh, you are centered on self. If you are centered on someone else, you're missing the mark. This is why we don't compare ourselves to others. Because each person's perception is different. The way they interpret via their senses is always going to be different from yours and mine. So when you compare yourself, you shortchange you, not them, you. To compare yourself is now admitting an insecurity, a way that you see yourself to be lesser, which does what? Make you look at life and go, oh my God, this is hard, I can't do it. But to be light and easy about life, you look at yours and you assess it and you say, am I where I want to be? Oh, but Angela, you're living in the clouds. Have you seen the world we live in? What do you mean I can just think my way through something? I'm simply telling you the law. The first law that governs all creation, mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Pfft, what does that mean? A mental creation? Ask yourself any question. How did I do that? I said I wanted to make lasagna for supper, and there you go, and I made it. That was a mental image of lasagna, and you made it. Nikola Tesla invented what we now call wireless technology, over 150 years ago. He never did what? He never held it in his hand, but he saw it in his mind. And because he saw it in his mind and he designed it, well, we could now create it from his mind. But everything starts within the mind, and it is projected outward to be given form to. That is the last law, gender. To consciously take a decision, it could be an image or a thought or a word, it will always generate an image, and you project it into your subconscious mind. Well, what do you mean? Everything that you do, you tie your shoes, you read, you add, subtract, multiply, divide, you walk, you talk, you sing, you dance. Where is that? Your subconscious mind. You are recalling the information because it is stored somewhere in order for you to recreate it. That is your subconscious mind. So how do you get stuff in there? By repetition or by strong emotion to leave an impression. This is how it gets there. So everything that you are facing right now is a culmination of images that you have stored somewhere. When you sit down and you reminisce about something, you have a memory about it. You sit there and you go, oh, I remember I was beaten so badly as a child. I was so abused. What do you think happens? The minute you recall that memory, the body responds the same way you did when it happened. Not because your body's trying to punish you, but the memory on the inside has to show itself on the outside, which is your body and your surroundings. So when you recall or you reminisce, you are drawing a memory from your subconscious mind. So you are projecting it outward. So that is law number 2, correspondence. As within, so without. Law number 3 is vibration. Everything moves. Nothing stands still. Nothing stands still. Oh, it might look like it. You know, you spin a top and it's moving so fast it looks like it's not, but it's moving. Everything moves. So if you look in the mirror and you say, oh my God, I'm so stuck in life, you cannot be stuck. Everything moves. Number 4, polarity. Now let's not get it twisted. Polarity, you have 2 poles, but there's one thing swinging between 2 poles, you. And it is a particular behavior, hot and cold. They are the same. The molecules in water that are boiling, they're moving faster than the water that is frozen, but they are both the same in their nature. There's love and hate are exactly the same. That's why you have a movie called A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. It's such a gray area. You cross over from dislike to strong dislike. And then we have rhythm. Because the thing that moves, it moves in an ebb and a flow. A rhythm. You can count between where the ebb starts and where the flow begins. You can count it to set your clock by it, that rhythm. We call them seasons. We call them day and night. We call it a full moon, half moon, quarter moon, new moon. Rhythm. But the rhythm is influenced by causation as well. The choices that we make, the cause, must bring about an effect. And the effect is generated by a cause. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. You cannot have one without the other. This is why if you have a problem, the solution is inside the problem. But if you are frazzled and running around trying to figure it out, you won't see it. Because you can't see it, because that's not what you're looking for. As within, so without. You're looking for the solution, you will see it. And then finally we have the law of gender. We project from the conscious to the subconscious. This is creation. And those laws govern creation. They don't change. They can't change. Because then how can they become reliable if they change? You know when summer is, you know when winter is. You know when spring is. You can set your clock to that. We know when these things happen. So now we adjust ourselves accordingly because we are governed by them. We just are. If you say, I'm going to plant this melon, which melon? The yellow-fleshed one? Well, what seed will you put in the ground? The red-fleshed melon? Well, you will only get a red flesh, not a yellow flesh. As within, so without. So if you say, I have all of this worry and angst on the inside, then your experiences must correspond. Because you reap what you have sown. This is law. So in order to become light and easy, learn the law. Recognize it. But most importantly, apply the law. You must apply. If you do not apply the law, well, the law is neither friend nor foe. It does not care, because the law does not run on feelings. The law runs on order, not feelings. It says this is the way it happens. And the reason why it will help you to fall in line with it, you see that rhythm that we can depend upon? Oh, the body loves it. Why does the body love it? Because it is sure and it represents safety. So you see, if you practice the law, you can alleviate worry. Well, why? Because you will now know I will reap what I've sown. So I'm going to behave accordingly. And I will do these actions because from these actions, I must get this result. It is law. And that's how you talk yourself through your situations so that you can remain light and easy about it. You know, you see people and you're like, oh my God, they have it so easy. How are they so relaxed? Well, Neville Goddard reminds us, you don't judge a man. Look at his mind and how he behaves. And you'll learn a lot about him. As within, so without. The content of your character. How do you see the content of character? By your behavior, by the action that you do. So, let us take a brief moment to welcome everyone to the space so that we can acknowledge the beautiful friends we have today. Meep, I see you here on Twitter. Um, Katya, I see you. Welcome, darling. Welcome here in Twitter. It is a pleasure to see you. Fanbase, who do we have here today? We have Sit With, and I can't see the rest of it, but I see you. Flo Smiles, I see you. Jamea, darling. Summer Rose, I see you. I see you, the Clarity Doctor. Welcome to the space. Miss McQueen, Yolanda, Zola. I see you all. Thank you for the love, and thank you for being here on Fanbase this morning. Who is on YouTube today? We have Ty's Tidbits, Ms. M, Bree, Cyber. Who else do we have? The Better Man. I missed saying your name yesterday, darling. Ah, Thoth's Wisdom. Well, hello. I trust you're still here. It's good to see you. And David, Empress Ella. Now, I haven't said Anot, and I haven't said a Sonia or a Sinovia. Oh, but I see you. And for all the others who have not made themselves known in the chat, I see you too. And for the replay gang, yes. Facebook, I see you. So you see, the Better Man and Ty's Tidbits, you guys are having this conversation. Yes, clarity is something I've been paying attention to as well. Ah, yes. Oh, Thoth's Wisdom, you're still there. You're getting the kids ready for school. Yes, I see you all. Listen, be light and easy. Being light and easy is an effect. The cause of being light and easy is practicing the law. Remember, every cause has its effect. So when you ask yourself, what do I want? You're looking for the effect. So if you know what you want, the effect, well, then the cause will show itself so that you can do it. It's just like, because as a homeschooler, and my boy says, but Mom, I don't understand that. How can I figure it out? And you break it down from its smallest and you build so that they can practice. And he practices, and then the light goes on. And you see the light go on. And he's like, oh, I get it. And so now, what does he do? He keeps practicing. And because the more he practices, when the next task comes up, he will apply that knowledge of practicing and breaking it down till he gets it. He will apply the same law every time. And this is what we do. This is how we become light and easy about living. Life is meant to be enjoyed. You know, there's that that meme that they have. I'm here 8 hours a day. You expect me to work too? Well, I'm living. You expect me to have fun too? Yes. KZ, I see you, my beautiful darling. You know, it is meant to be enjoyed. But if you find that you cannot enjoy it, there's a habit that must be examined. That's it. And yes, Bree, you are correct. The moment you compare yourself, you devalue who you are. And what does that do the minute you devalue yourself? You walk around saying things like, well, George is better than me. That's why they got the promotion I didn't, because they're better. And then what happens to you? You start to feel what? Inadequate. And because you feel inadequate, you must be treated that way. Because you're behaving as if you are inadequate. So how does someone know how to treat you? Oh, by the way you behave. So you see, the power to change your surroundings lies squarely in the palm of your hands. Or in your heart, wherever. But it is within you. So practice the law. Because as I said, it is neither friend nor foe. It cannot be your friend, because then we would deal with favoritism. Oh, well, look. George is being so good today. Let me sprinkle some more love on George. Oh, but look at Susie. This heifer doesn't deserve anything. I'll take that away. No, can you imagine a world of such? It's bad enough that our parents did it sometimes, or your grandparents had a favorite. You want the law to have a favorite too? That would not bode well for any of us. So the great equalizer is this, and the scripture says it. It rains upon the wicked as well as the righteous. How do you know this is fact? Well, when you go outside, the mosquitoes do not differentiate between who we deem to be evil and who we deem to be good. They'll bite you as long as you're there. Same for the sun. It'll shine and make the garden grow. It does not care if the hands that planted the garden are vile or not. But don't for 1 minute think that the law is blind. It is not. It sees all because it governs all. Causation, correspondence. Whatever is within you is what you'll reap. Even though sometimes it looks like the quote unquote wicked prosper. And if you spend your time comparing that, oh, well, look at how bad they are and they're getting ahead. What are you doing? You're casting judgment. We all know that famous scripture, don't we? Judge not, lest ye be judged. What? As within, so without. You walk around judging someone else, that's a surefire way to tell me that you already judge yourself. So you see, the law is ever before us. It is a light that guides you. Every step you take, it illuminates for you. It does. It shows you, careful, don't stub your toe there. Oh, watch out for that chair. Now tell me how that is not unconditional love. And with knowing these things, we can walk through this world being light and easy about things. It takes practice, though. Practice, practice, practice. There, see, now this is a beautiful affirmation, Ms. M. The universe favors me as one of its best friends. I always get the good things I'm looking for. I always get happy experiences. The law works in my favor. That's why I always have happy experiences. And there you have it. That affirmation can only come from a place of knowing. You know this. You know it to be true. That's why you can declare it with such passion. Because when you know a thing, well, you know it. How would somebody know this? That the universe favors them? Because of the evidence of the work they put in. They get the inside right so that the outside can mirror it. You see, when you line up with law, this is exactly what you will begin to see. You will see that the universe treats you in a particular way, with favor. It is law. Yes, Ms. M. It is fact. Because you practice every day. And you say what? You say, listen, this is what's required right here, right now. And it shows up. And the first thing you say is, oh, what a coincidence. Wow. Synchronicities. We say that. But the more you catch yourself saying, what a coincidence. Oh, synchronicities. You know what that means? It means you are in alignment the way you desire to be. As opposed to saying, I never get what I want. That means you are in alignment with what you do not desire. But either way, you are in alignment. We are always in alignment with law. I love it, Ms. M. It is a most beautiful affirmation, and it comes from a place of knowing. It is not something empty that you say. Yes, Bree. It does. The getting to know you, getting to know all about you. When you get to know the law, you see yourself. Oh, the law shows you you. Every time. So you see, the more you practice deliberately staying in alignment with the law, you make it a friend. This is why some people can say, well, life sucks. I always get the short end of the stick. No, you're living by way of law. Everybody lives by way of law. Whether you get shafted or not, you're living by way of law. You're recreating what is impressed upon your subconscious mind. So the law is always saying to you, as within, so without. Where are you now? Where would you like to be? Does this feel good? What are you swinging between here? What rhythm or what habit are you looking at here? Because you do this, this happens. Because this is the image you are projecting forward into your subconscious mind. The law is always speaking to you. Learn its language. You know, the first time we went to TCM school, traditional Chinese medicine school, and we had to learn herbs, pinyin. You're like, what? What are you saying? Your teacher says, she gives you a name of a formula, gan mai da sao tang. You're like, my who, what, now what tang? You're like, what is this? Gan mai da sao tang. One of the best formulas for long-term use to calm anxiety. Oh, indeed. After 4 years of hearing it said, it is no longer foreign to me. Right? So learn the language of the law. It speaks. Learn the language. And how do we interpret? By senses. Cyber, on synchronicities, what do you think of Neville's signs follow? But that's exactly what it is. A synchronicity, it shows you. It is the law of correspondence. It is the law of correspondence. As within, so without. You cannot get a synchronicity. A synchronicity is an effect. So you must have the cause in order to see the effect. So as within, so without. That's why signs follow. They do not proceed. To know what you've planted, you have to wait for it to root, shoot, flower, and fruit. That's what you've got to, you have to wait for that to happen in order for you to know what you've planted. So this is why signs follow. They are effects. Yes? Does that make sense, Cyber? Right? And that's, you're correct. When you say, if you take the good signs as your wish coming, you'll take the bad signs as them not. Exactly. So you don't look for signs. You don't have to look for a sign. You're the one who planted the seed, and you water it, and you nurture it. It has to grow. So once it starts growing, you know, my harvest is coming. You don't need a sign for the harvest. You know the harvest is coming because you planted it. That knowing, that being easy, that being light about it. But when we begin to worry, is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? You're biting your nails, you're freaking out. That's when we look up to the heavens and we say, oh, give me a sign. That's what we do. Who's going to give you a sign? Who planted the seed? That's where you look. Did you plant the seed? Did you plant the effect? That's how you know. That's how you know. About persistence? Oh, yes, Miss M. Because when you're doing this, right, when you're planting your garden, persistence is critical. We don't see the long-lasting effects of persistence, you know. We're just looking for the short-term persistence, which means you get what it is you say you've planted, you reap what you've sown. We think persistence stops there. But it can't stop there. Persistence goes beyond time. It goes into generations. Per se, you were a single mother and you raised your daughter, right? You came from brokenness, but you made sure that she did not. And now all of a sudden, you've got grandchildren that are what? In a beautiful home with both parents that you did not have. That is persistence personified. And that's what I mean when it says it goes beyond one person. We think that when we persist, we're just saying, okay, I know I planted this seed, I'm going to reap my harvest. I know I planted this seed, I'm going to reap my harvest. It is law. I persist. Oh, look, there's my harvest that came in. I got what I want. Persistence does not stop when you get what it is that you've planted. Everything has its what? Its due time. So the type of thing that you are planting will influence the level of persistence you must have. Do you know what it takes to get up and be a single mother and not be discouraged? And having to work and put your daughter through school, private school nonetheless? Only to watch her grow into a beautiful young woman, educated, married, with children, that she raises what? Very well. Now that could not have been seen right there at that time, because as a young single mother, you don't see that. You not clearly. You know what you want. But it takes persistence. You have to get up every day and push, because you've got to keep your mind in the right place. Because if you falter, you already know what's gonna happen. So that's the persistence required. So you see, persistence, again, is not something that ends when you say, oh, look, there I have my manifestation. Oh, look, there I have my house. You still have to care for that house and the people who live in it. Oh, look, I have my spouse. You still have to put in the work and be beautiful and be kind with your words and be understanding to maintain the relationship. So you see, persistence does not end when you get what it is you say you've planted. Persistence is patient, is it not? Because it endures. Ms. M, does that answer your question? Ah, yes, Bree. Yes, those lyrics. If all the beautiful and new things, yes, indeed, we are always learning day in and day out. And that's why that inscription says, when you know yourself, you'll know God. Because the laws help you to understand, comprehend. Not? I see you. The law helps us to comprehend so that we can act accordingly to create consciously. What? You mean conscious? Yeah, you see the masculine, the part you project? That's the part we become more efficient at. We become deliberate in our consciousness. And we decide and we choose what we put into our subconscious. Because remember, the subconscious is always on. It's always taking in information. It doesn't judge, it just takes it in. Neville calls it a dutiful wife. She's not going to argue with you. She's just, yes, yes. And she gives it right back to you. So be careful what you put in, because as within, so without. This is why consciously, we have to be aware of what we are putting into ourselves. This is what causes us to go through life being light and easy. Nice and easy does it every time. My grandmother used to dye her hair. Well, I used to dye my grandmother's hair. And her brand of choice was nice and easy. And that was the commercial. Nice and easy does it. That's how life is if we apply the law. If we apply. It's not that George has an easier life than you. Do not compare because you do not know George's way of thinking. You do not know George's habits. You've not spent enough time around George, only enough time to judge him. That's what blurs the vision. Judgment. So don't look at George and say, well, he was born with a silver spoon. Even if somebody is born with a silver spoon, they still always will have something that corrupts their way of thinking to form something that's not nice, aka Paris Hilton, lap of luxury. But yet, somebody busts in and takes you away to some thing where you're tortured. What? What now? Shouldn't all the money have prevented? No. You see what I'm saying to you? You don't judge because we don't know. We don't know. You keep your eyes on you, and the law will guide you, and you will rise above anything that you think is holding you back. Apply the law. You put a stick in your spokes, and you go flying over the handlebars when you compare yourself to others. It does not make you feel good. If you want to compare yourself to somebody, compare yourself to the ants. Are you as studious as ants are? Do you follow law the way they do? Do you work? Do you do that? And then you rest when they do? Are you trusting in your capacity to perform the task the way they do? No, well then you better learn from them because they follow law. Watch them. Watch the bees. They seem aimless sometimes, don't they? But they are not. They go by way of law. In the winter, where are they? Deep underground in the ebb. And when the flow comes, that's why they store. They store enough from the flow to get them through the ebb. Let us learn to do that. But don't look around and say, I'm not like them, I'm not like that. That will suck the life out of you faster than... You hear me? This is the encouragement for us all today. We must persist in our practicing of the law. Why? Because it is a pleasure. Well, how do you know it's a pleasure? As within, so without. You want it to be a pleasure? Then it will be. We know this. Look at what we've learned to do with cheese. Tell me, it's not pleasurable. We can make candy. All to do what? Excite the taste buds. Oh my word. Baked brie. That is my favorite cheese, by the way, brie. But you know how it is. Look at what we've done. Look at what we've learned to do. Just to do what? Stimulate our senses so we can have a beautiful experience. But you don't have to eat a thing to have a beautiful experience. You have to think a thing to create the beautiful experience you want to have. You have that capability. Let us start using it. Yes, Ty's tidbits, don't judge because we don't know. We have the capability. So today, use your capabilities. Use them. If you have the ability to look at a blank slate and fill it in your mind and have it be beautiful and then recreate it, that's a gift. Use it, for God's sake. Well, how do you use it? What do you see in your mind when you're looking at a blank slate? What are you doing? Are you decorating a room? Are you like Brie and you're making beautiful clothes? Are you like my bestie using gemstones to create beautiful images, what are you doing? What are you seeing in your mind? Then that's how you use it. Yeah, but what if nobody wants that? Listen, everybody wants to feel good. And because you see it in your head, the effect, someone, including you, will enjoy it. So don't stop yourself. Look at what you are capable of doing and do it. Why? Because where there is a will, an intent, a way is always made. As within, so without. So if you look at it and you say, but nobody's going to pay money for that, well, then they won't. But if you say, well, I better get creating. What do I need to make it happen? If that means you have to do a pre-order so you can buy your supply, then do a pre-order. But you have these capabilities and these skills. Use them. Use them. For the love of God in all things, use them so that you can do what? Become light and easy. Y'all are just, my bowl is on the other side of my room, and Brie loves to be baked, I see. I just love y'all because you are amazing. It is just a beautiful thing, you understand. It is a beautiful thing. When you apply the law, it will put you at ease because the body likes the familiar. Oh, it does. There's safety in the familiarity with the body. That's why the law, if you use it, will allow the body to do this. And then you and I can be light and easy. You know, I did not say the name Synovia. Beauty Queen Onika, I see you. Does that make sense on this lovely morning? I trust that it does. I trust that it does. And you know, out of the mouth of babes, what was I saying? I was saying the other day, I really want to have a beautiful experience, a beautiful spiritual experience. My son says to me, he goes, Mom, don't try so hard. Just relax. I had to look over the top of my glasses and say, get out. Where'd you come from? Be light and easy. Be light and easy. This is what it is. Be light and easy. Now, if you bear with me, I'll go get the bowl. Hold tight. Give me one moment, please. Lord, don't let me trip and fall. The bowl has been acquired. Where am I going to put the bowl? Hold tight, y'all. I'm coming. I got you. I've got you covered. I've got you covered. All right. I'm going to put the bowl here. Okay, stay still. One more time. There. You see, I love the bowl. I do. That's tonight, actually, at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube and Fanbase and Facebook, Twitter. I might add y'all, where we hit the bowl. You see the sensation that you just felt when you heard the bowl? There's something about it. That's tonight, where we have a thought and we get a sensation of what that thought feels like in the body, so that we can do what? So that we can become better at creating and projecting, because this is what it is. You will know what is stored in your subconscious mind by way of that sensation in your body. And so that's why it's important when we practice it. You see, it's all of these little practices that we have. We are learning how to be light and easy. That's what we're doing. We're learning how to do it. Because for so long, we've learned another way, you understand? We've learned another way. But if we live by way of law, so much happens when we live by way of law. And so I want to encourage you, every day that you get up, remember Agent Smith, why, Mr. Anderson, why do you persist? Because I choose to. Because you choose to persist. Because we understand now that persistence does not end when we get to reap our harvest. That harvest that you reap impacts generations. That's what it does. So, I trust that today, when we go forward into the day, we got a pep in our step. Why? Because you have the capability of calling those things that are not as though they were, and they become. That is what you have the power to do. But by golly gee, we cannot keep sitting on it. Come now. We must use it. Use it well. Remember, 2 talents, 5 talents, 1 talent. Which out of the bunch do you want to be? Do you want to be the one who hit it? I don't know what to do with this. I'm scared. My master scares me. So he hit it. You want to be the one with 2? Oh, 2 for me? Well, this is nice. Went out and made 2 more. As within, so without. Clearly there was no fear within him. He was bold. He doubled. He had whatever he had on the inside. He projected and he made it. And then the one with 5. Oh, as within, so without. Clearly he had more practice with the law, yeah? He did not have any fear. He was bold and courageous. Well, then so must you be, so must I be. Synovia, I see you. Cyber asks a beautiful question. He says, I think I'll try to choose a different state for every bowl ding tonight. Or is that not advised? Well, I'll say this. Having the ability to flow between states is a very good thing. And the only way to be able to flow between states is to practice flowing between states. So, if one state is bliss and the other one is peacefulness, flow between the two. That's why we practice, so that you can turn on a dime in any situation. That is why. Does that answer your question, Cyber? I love you all. Countdown initiated. You know where to find me, y'all, on YouTube. For the what? Last remnants of gravy from the bowl. Indeed. I missed Jeff today. And Tiffany, I did. On Twitter, I missed them. But you know, Meep is here. And Katya is here. I also did not see Lilith. But I see you. I love you all, Twitter, and thank you for being here. And I will see you tonight in my link tree, the link in my description there on Twitter. You can get to my YouTube and click on the notify me for tonight's Feel Your Thought. We can do that. And I will see you tonight. Much love, Twitter. Much love. You know you can find me on YouTube. YouTube, we're coming. Fanbase. KZ, Sit With, Flo Smiles, Summer Rose, Miss McQueen, Zola. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing your love with me this morning. It is greatly appreciated. And I trust you found it helpful. You know you can always slide into my DMs if you need more elaboration on something. And chances are we'll do a live stream on it, because if you have a question, somebody else also has a question. Right? So I will see you over on YouTube, if you have the time for that, to get the last remnants of gravy from the bowl. I love you, fanbase. I'll see you soon. Fanbase is closed. It is just us, YouTube and Facebook. It's just us. It's really helping you to walk in the state. If I can listen to the ding as the person I desire to be, I can do my laundry as the person I desire. Well, yes, Cyber, that is the point. Because all we're doing is practicing. And the more we practice, what happens? The better we become at the thing we practice. Zola. Yes. That's what it is, isn't it? The more we practice, the better we become at the thing we practice. So yes, because now what you're doing, the ding leaves an impression upon the subconscious mind to do what? Be able to flow between states. And the beauty with that is you can now learn to sustain a state. Hold it for a little bit longer. Those are all the things you're learning to do. Those are all the things I'm practicing. Right? Because if you think about it, if we already do it naturally, this is why I stress this to us a lot. We are already by way of law. So if somebody, you know how you're driving sometimes and somebody's acting a fool and you cuss them out, right? That thing stays with you. How long it stays with you, well, that's up to you. But you notice it stays with you for a while. And you can't go anywhere until you're saying, man, this person cut me off, blah, blah, blah. Man, this person, what did you do? You stayed in the state. You see, we already stay in the state. Cyber, your comment came through at exactly 6:39 a.m. 6:39. Oh, snap. Right? So did Zola's. But you get what I'm saying. We are always in a state, right? And we always sustain that state that we're in. Like I said, just watch the kind of arguments or conversations you have in your head, and you'll see that you're very good at maintaining a state. You'll see it. You already do it. The first thing that came to mind just now was, "Oh boy, I'm in a state. I'm in a state." That'll take on new meaning for you now, to be in a state. Whoo, child, you got me in a state. What state is that? because that state is where you are creating your experiences from. So that's all I wanted to tell you today. Be light and easy. Be light and easy. That light has more than one meaning, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Be the light. Oh, be the light. And then it's easy, isn't it? Because you can see your way. I love you. I love all of you. You show up every day. I appreciate your time. And again, if you have questions, I will finish my tasks this week so that I can launch the law school. Yay! Isn't that exciting? Yay! I'm looking forward to it. If only my grandfather knew what he called into existence. No, she's going to be a lawyer. My grandmother's like, no, she's going to be a preacher. Well, and here we are preaching the law. So they were both right, you know? They were both right. Yeah. So I will see you tonight at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will get all the dates. KZ, I see you. Let's touch on it before we go, Cyber. You feel like you take on others' states when I have confrontations with them. As within, so without, Cyber. You can't have a confrontation with someone unless that is already within you. Hmm? Right? Can't have that confrontation. It has to be in you. This is why they say nobody can make you do something you don't want to do. You can't be hypnotized to do something that you wouldn't have done anyway. It has to be within you already. As within, so without. I love you, Cyber. That's okay. I have to remind myself of these things all the time. Oh, yes, I do. I'm like, I don't want to partake in that. Right? That's what it is. Remember, King David, thy word I have hidden in my heart, that I may not sin against you. What's that mean? The law. It's in your heart. You move with it, lean with it, rock with it, right? Sugar visions? Hello? Now, I've never said that before, sugar visions, so you're going to have to tell me who you are. Perhaps you've come over from somewhere else, but tell me who you are, sugar visions. I like that. Hey, sugar. I like that. Um, does that make sense, everyone, today? Because I know, I get it. As within, so without. And that's something we don't like to hear it, do we? But keeps you on the path, doesn't it? It doesn't make you judge yourself. It doesn't make you hate yourself. It makes you change so you can have the desired outcome you are looking for. Flow smiles. There you go, Sugar Vision. It's good to see you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Right? This is what it is. That's why I tell you. It always says to you, is that what you would like to experience? I'm going to have to do a skit with this one. My mind is just, as soon as I said that, something just flashed into my mind, and I must do it. I must. I must. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm gonna need some help, but I'm going to do it. I will do a skit with the law because I must. I must. It just dropped right there, and I'm like, oh, we'll do it. It's not the first time, but I'll do it. Anywho, I love you all. Let us go forth and do what? Be light and easy. Mm, yeah, that's what we'll do. And remember, you can always hit me up in my link tree if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I do love you all. Yes? Alrighty then. I will see you tonight, 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, for Feeling Your Thoughts. Much love. You're welcome, Cyber. You are so welcome. Synovia, Sugar Visions, Bree Darling, KZ, Zola, Synovia, Ty's Tidbits, Ms. M, A Not, Beauty Queen Onika, Asonia, Thoth's Wisdom, The Better Man, David, Empress, Ella. I will see you soon.